everybody get in here.
Jason says loud and clear.
Okay. How many does it say that we have showing on the screen there live?
8.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right. We stole the son's rocker reclining bag chairs. So if I'm rocking back and forth like an old man, well, I am an old man, so. All right, everybody here? Seems to me like the phone is just a little hair off. There we go.
Good God.
Okay. Well, we got some good news. Good news this week. It's been a great week. All right. Number one is that the building itself is going to be here Monday morning between 7 and 9, coming from Dallas, up from the manufacturer in Dallas, and the crew that's putting it up is bringing it with them. So it isn't like the packet's going to get dropped and then I have to wait for a week or two for them to show up. The crew that's going to put it up is bringing it with them. So I've been told to be ready for them to be here between 7 and 9 Monday morning. So that's a good thing. And I'll set up the cameras and do time lapse and everything so you guys can watch it go up. I'm jazzed. I'm really jazzed. I'm really, really jazzed. All right. Do you guys have any questions about the building? Nope. Okay. Second thing that happened, I got about, what was it about? Was it this morning or this afternoon? It was this afternoon.
Afternoon, yeah.
This afternoon, I got reached out to by Summit Racing themselves. I am now signed up as a influencer and a for Summit. So I'm now going to be having links on all my new videos included. I can go back and put them on my old videos. And so it's a way to generate a little bit of money for Uncle Buck's Garage. If you buy through a link that I provide, then I get a little bit of commission, and you guys can show some love. You guys can get your parts and maybe get I don't know quite yet all of it, but I've been accepted. I got reached out to specifically by them. So, and their marketing team. So it's a good deal. It's a good deal. I mean, but the only thing left Uncle Buck's Garage needs is a true sponsor, you know, someone that, you know, needs me to make content for them and just, you know, get a paycheck. That's about the only thing that's left, because I'm going to decide we're never going to do memberships. I don't pay for memberships, and I know you guys don't either. And I really, truly enjoy doing these live, so I don't think I'll ever do memberships. So I think that's where we're going to stay with that. But yeah, Uncle Buck's Garage needs a tried and true sponsor. So
Project HQ says that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't. It's been a good day. It's been a great week. We got all good news this week. It's really been cool. Let me see. Oh, and I don't know if you guys can see, but the new 350 is together. Crank, rods, pistons, rings, bearings, everything all brand new. Board is 40 over, and I've been making videos about doing this all week for a couple of weeks now, and they're stacked in, ready to go the next 4 weeks. And let me see what I got left. I got the timing chain. I got to buy the cam, which of course now I'm going to buy through Summit. And I got the lifters. I've got the last set of my old lifters, the ones that are hardened and everything, the good ones. And I got to get an oil pump for it. Other than that, I've got everything else to go. I've got all the gaskets. I got the heads that are in the closet. I got to finish porting both of them. They're 882 heads, and do a valve job and redo all of them. You got a question?
Curtis says, Summit is who I order from and deliver to Canada. Best service, honestly, I can find.
Yeah, and so once I get everything finalized, I hope to get that done tomorrow. Then I'll get my own personal link that I can put on all my listings or all my videos, so that if you guys go through it, then you're throwing some love my way, and it'd be really cool. So all you guys out there, if you think about it, if you're in a couple of days, once I get the links up, if you're going to make a purchase through Summit, go through my link, and that way then Uncle Buck's Garage gets a little bit of money to do things like this.
Wayne says, how much would you charge to build a 350 for my 71 Nova?
It depends on if you want to get all the machine work done. Now, I got a good machine shop, B&A Engine Works here in Van Buren, Arkansas. And if you want them to do the work for you, it just depends on how many hours it takes me to do. I got about, to do this right, because I filed all the rings for each piston and for each hole, and I plastic gauged all the bearing rods, everything. I'm about 6-7 hours in on this one. It's time consuming, but I mean, if you do it right, it would be probably around a 15-hour job if you buy all the parts. So I gotta tell you, it's not cheap. It'd probably be about $1,500, $100 an hour.
Mr. Tism, he says, is that piston your model?
No, that is Canadian whiskey and Fresca.
Okay.
Diet soda.
Do you ever do any Mopar builds?
Nope, never done Mopar. But I have one of my dearest friends in the whole world. He is a Mopar guru. He lives about an hour and 15 minutes away. He knows more about Mopars than I know about Chevys. But I've never built one. My first car was a 69 Dodge Dart, but I never got into it. I only owned it for 2 weeks and I wrecked it. 16. What are you going to do?
Project HQ says, we use Summit a lot. They are about an hour and a half away from us for pickup. Get things next day. Curtis says, HQ, I wish they were that close.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using, you guys can remember, you guys are all pretty much, a lot of you guys are my age. Remember the good old days, the black and white day and a half, page and a half in all the Hot Rod magazines, where they had the Summits pieces, before they come out with the catalogs and everything. I've been buying from Summit all my hot rodding life. Since I was 16 years old, I've been buying from Summit. Even before the internet, when it was mail order. Remember, it was mail order? You made a phone call and you got it shipped to you. That's how old I am.
Larry says, congratulations on the Summit deal. Curtis says, even with the tariffs and the exchange rate, they're still cheaper.
Yeah.
And Robert says hi.
Hello, Robert. But yeah, no, it just came out of the blue. I didn't even contact them. I had never even tried to sign up. See, apparently their affiliate program is brand new. And I got reached out to by the manager of the marketing department. And it just dropped in my lap, It just, good things can happen if you just keep going, just keep working, just keep hustling,
Project HQ says, we used to skip school and go over in the 80s.
Yeah.
Mad Mechanics, I absolutely love your channel. I have done 2 trucks, 73 and a 74K and a C10. Want to see a big block build? You rock, and hello from Idaho.
The big block, the 454, is in the machine shop getting vatted and Magnaflux right now. And I'm pretty sure she's probably going to holler at me next week for me to go pick it up. And then I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to deburr everything and knock all the casting flash off and everything. And then I'm going to send it back to her. And I'm going to start the machining process on it. But after this one's done, I'm hoping to have it back from the machine shop so I can start building the big block, because I got to get the crankshafts back here. It's got to get turned. The rod's got to be reconned, and I've already been on Summit looking at prices for, gasket set, fuel pump, set of pistons, things like that. But no, the big block's coming. And I also made a monster deal. I've got truckloads of big block parts coming that I made the deal for them. But they got to stay up there till the building gets up in the drive, because I'm not going to have them sit outside, and I just don't have room for them in here. But it's truckloads of stuff. So big blocks are going to be in our future.
D3 says, "What's a good budget head for an 81 350?"
Now, I had Flash Shark reach out to me, and they were about to send me a set of their new aluminum heads. They just come out with aluminum heads. Now, I know Flash Shark is Chinese, okay, but everything besides Brodek and Edelbrock, AFRs, all them guys, all their castings come from China, and they just finished them up here. Okay, so the only foundries left are Edelbrock in California and Brodek's here in Mena, Arkansas. So if you buy anything besides those two companies, you're buying Chinese heads. But the deal fell through because they thought that was a little bit more for them to send for the budget for advertising. But I'm sure it'll come across. But Summit actually has a good set of heads, aluminums. They have cast irons. They're pretty reasonable. Edelbrocks are going to be pricey because they're all made USA's. Brodek's going to be pricey because they're all made. AFRs make great heads. But you can look around and you can get some deals. I suggest Eric Weingartner out of Oklahoma City. He has a YouTube channel, and he's went through and flowed and given his opinion on good or bad for aftermarket heads over the last 5-6 years, and I trust his opinion. So, and I've never met him, but he just seems to be like he's no nonsense, and he does it on the flow bench and gives you the best for. Now, some of the stuff that he gets that's really cheaper, they're hard to get because everybody knows about them, and so they're sold out all the time. So you just got to get on the mailing list. But basically, anything aftermarket aluminum is going to be your best bet.
FYI, I just blocked Ashley. Wasn't very nice. So anyway, Mad Mechanic says, "I've used many of your videos. I have a 73 454 with a finished 049 heads and
Good heads.
.02 .020 pistons, flat top, hoping for 350 horsepower.
You're gonna get more
BBC rules and Uncle Bucks."
Now, the 049 heads is what I had on the Camaro race car, the one that we beat on for 6 years bracket racing through the circuit. Never let me down. They're great heads. They flow good. They're reliable. They're solid. Like I said, I beat on that car and on that motor for 6 seasons and never turned a wrench on it. Never turned a wrench on it. I mean, besides, running the valves and resetting the time, make sure the timing is right, and changing oils on it and stuff. Never had to do anything to it. I mean, it ran, beat on it every weekend for 6 years, and them heads were great, and that motor was great. You're making more than 350 horsepower.
So Jason says, "You'll be ready for a lift in a week. Better get it ordered." How did y'all like the picture I sent you from my new lift?
I like it. I'm trying to like I said, I was waiting to pull the trigger. I've got a packet set up to send out to about 15 different manufacturers to see if I can get some kind of sponsorship on that deal. See if I can cut break on price or do whatever, or get like a free installation and put it together, whatever. But once it's in the drive, the first purchase is going to be a lift, or deal is going to be a lift. So I've got all the email addresses ready to go. I've got the packet done. I'm just ready to pull the trigger as soon as it's in the dry. Because you never know. I might make a deal and then the lift show up the next day, and I'd hate for it to be sitting there on the pad where they're trying to build around it.
Okay.
But it's the number one thing on the list.
Man Mechanic says, also on the Summit front, I just ordered my second street strip carb for a decent warm 350 in an Edelbrock. I have it on my 73 K10, and it runs like as if the fuel injector's motored.
Yeah.
And then he also said 80 El Camino wife dream car.
Well, the wife's dream car is sitting right behind her right now with the 66 Mustang. But no, it's once I get this motor done, then and the building goes up and the lift goes in, then the build on the Mustang starts. But the first thing I want to do, once the lift is up and running and electricity to it and everything, is I want to get Bam Lam up in the air. I want to get exhaust put underneath it and get the front end tightened up. That's the first thing on my list. Then after that, then the Mustang gets in the works, and we'll be doing motors on the side. But the Mustang, I need to get started on it and get that process going.
What about massed motorsports heads?
Anything aftermarket is going to be good. Like I said, I was trying to make a deal with Flash Shark, and their heads are $300. Now the way they come bare with guides in them, no valves, no springs, no lock retainers, no guide plates or anything. But I mean, to have a set of aluminum for less than $700 sitting on your workbench, you might have to do some work to them, and buy some parts. But I mean, that's pretty cheap. I mean, even Temu is selling performance parts now because they're stealing everything. They're just copying everything. So I mean, it is what it is.
LS6 man says LS6 crank somehow found its way in there. Maybe LS5, not 100% sure, but those are the numbers on it. And I will do a startup video and tag you in it. I love the Camaro series. Yeah,
I love the stuff. Yeah, awesome.
Kurt says 100% lift, 100% buck.
Yep.
Jason, you and your boy can set the post up in 4 hours. Super easy.
Well, here's the deal. He's in there asleep on a recliner right now because he just pulled a 12-hour day. And tomorrow is his last day at the dealership. He goes to Georgia for a month for training for his current dealership. So he's not even going to be here for it to hit the ground on Monday. And it'll be up in the dry, and I'll be doing all the work for a month by myself. So, but once he gets back, yeah, I know on the weekends and stuff, he'll be around.
Larry says, I've had several people tell me to put a 305 heads on my small block 350. Is there any benefit to this?
No. The combustion chamber might be a little smaller if you find the ones that have the 59cc combustion chamber, but the problem is the valve size. They just don't flow any. They don't flow any air. They just don't. 350 all the way. 194 is 202 valves, because like the 305 came with little bitty small valves in them. So for what you get for like a compressor ratio, if you find a 59cc head, combustion chamber head, that squelch is not enough because of the flow numbers aren't good because the valves are so small. It's not worth it. I don't recommend it at all.
Shane says, I'm using a PAI 2.08 intake valves, Pro Comp heads with a 220 intake port. I like the heads so far, bought in 2010-ish.
Yeah, that's a lot of head. 220 CFM runners. That's a lot of head. You run it on the street, right? You're running on a drag strip or both. That's a lot of head. That's a lot of flow. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, it's just, I was wondering if you're running it at dual, just on the strip or on the street or just driving around every day. But that's a lot of head. That's a lot of CFM.
For a small block, he says for a small block, I'm talking.
Yeah, that's a lot of head.
Tristan says, Spears, hi, I'm 11 and I know something about cars, but I want to start my own business when I grow up.
Start a YouTube channel. There's a couple of young gentlemen that have YouTube channels that they're in their dad's shops, and they make great content. They're a lot of fun to watch, especially on TikTok. I wish when my kids were little, when YouTube first hit, I wish I'd have started a YouTube channel then, when I was taking Camaros and Firebirds apart and selling them off piece by piece, that would have been, by this time we'd been huge. But I mean, get you, talk to your mom and dad, get you a channel set up, the TikTok. I mean, you set yourself up for life.
Project HQ asked if you got hacked. Because there's been a few people on here that I've had to block.
Yeah, I've had a lot on TikTok. I've had to like put a bunch of people. I've had to they're redoing my content. I've had to like put strikes on a lot of people on TikTok. But I mean, it is what it is. Because I'm doing this in this aspect instead of vertical or horizontal, it's getting a lot more views. So there's a lot more hacks out there. But yeah, no, I haven't gotten hacked. But I mean, they're popping in. Christina's already blocked somebody tonight.
2. Larry says, good to know. Kay says, I scrolled by and came back. Thought that was beer in the cup. LOL. Hello from Chicago. Very intrigued.
Hello from Chicago. Hello from Oklahoma to Chicago. I grew up in Milwaukee.
Shane says stripped, but it does drive on the street in the summer.
Are you up north?
TLC says, listen to this. Why would I have a great oil pressure cold? 40 psi. Once the motor gets warm at idle pressure, it drops to about 3 to 5 psi. I'm thinking they forgot to hide the oil galley plug.
No. If that's the case, you wouldn't have any the oil galley plugs. Is it an older engine? That means your bearing tolerances or your oil pump is getting weak. But how much? What RPM is it idling at? Have you got it down right down in the basement, 4.5, 500 RPMs, or are you sitting at 700 or 800 RPMs? But most generally, when the oil gets warm and you're running 40 pounds cold, once your oil gets warm, it also what viscosity oil are you running? So it's a combination. If your viscosity is wrong, if your bearing tolerances are wore out, and you got a lot of space in between your rods and your mains, and your oil pump might be getting weak. And heat. So, I mean, it could be a whole bunch of different combinations involved in there affecting your oil pressure. I had the truck that Christina's dad gave us when we first got married. It would run 40 pounds of pressure as soon as it started, but it was an old Ford FE engine. It would run 10 pounds all day long. But them old FEs, you could run them dry, you could run them hot, no water, and you could add water back in and start back up. Add oil in, it would start back up. But I learned to use 4 quarts of oil, 30 weight of oil, and 1 thing of Lucas, the real thick molasses Lucas oil treatment, and that bumped up the oil pressure. I would suggest trying that. Get you a jug of Lucas oil treatment, the white jug, and 4 quarts of oil, and go just straight 30 weight, not 1040, not 1050. Go just straight 30 weight and a bottle of Lucas, and see if your oil pressure evens out, warm or cold.
Kay says, 11-year-old, I pray your parents know that you're on YouTube. Dave says you'll get good bottom end torque with the 305 heads if you do. If you're doing the cruising, not so good if you're wanting to top end performance.
Hi, Dave.
Tristan says they do. No. Let's see here. And
just so you know, Tristan, my first grandson is named Tristan. He's in California and he's 7. So I'm feeling you, brother. But if you got any questions, my email address is down on the bottom of all the stuff. And if you got any questions, you just email me and I'll give you pointers if you need it. I mean, the more younger people that want to get into this kind of stuff, the better. I mean, I'll help you along the way as best I can. That's why I'm called Uncle Buck.
Which is better? This is from Tristan. Which is better, Top Extreme Energy or Stage 2 Slope Cam?
It depends on what you're going to use it for, Tristan. It depends on your camshaft is your heartbeat of your engine. So it depends on if you want to drive it every day. Depends if you want to go drive it every day but take it to strip on the weekends, or if you want to just have fun with it, or if you want to go full blast as fast as it'll go, as hard as it'll go. Those are all things that you have to take into consideration. Compression ratio, what type of heads you have on it, how heavy your engine, heavier the body you have that motor in is, if it's automatic, if it's standard, if there's what the gear ratio is. There's all kinds of different things which you'll learn in time. But I mean, there is no like just black and white answer to that question. There's so many variables involved to make that decision.
Okay. Katie says, my mom's SUV 15 CRV keeps not starting and all her lights are on the dash. The mechanic says there's nothing wrong and everything. Every time we put it on the diagnostic machine, it shows nothing.
I would have no idea about that. If it's got, okay, once the garage is up, once the shop is up, and I start doing side work, my motto is, if it's got a computer on it, I'm not touching it. So carburetor, distributor, old school, I don't know that stuff. Now, my son, Ken, that's what he's heading off for a month, and that's what he's doing. He's learning all those processes. So maybe in a couple of months, I might have somebody sit next to me with a little bit of knowledge about that sort of thing. But when it comes to when you're pulling codes and all that biz, it's not my cup of tea. I don't mess with it. I call him when I need help.
Wayne says, yeah, hello from Indiana.
Hello, Wayne.
Oh, for the record, this 750 CFM on the 350 and 850 on the BBC as a GM built them. Yeah,
I totally agree. That's my starting point. 750 with any kind of cammed up or hot 350 and 850 plus with a big block. Bottom line, that's my starting point. I totally agree.
Katie says that NIW keeps it happening constantly.
I would have no idea. I don't want to give you an opinion because it's just not something I deal with.
Let's see. Oh, and Katie says, hey there, Indiana, in the northwest Indiana, about 20 miles from Chicago. TLC, it was supposed to have been rebuilt, but not by me. Hidden galley plugs is what I was thinking. It's with the brake in the oil, 330 weight, about 800 to 1,000 RPMs. I'm hoping it's not bad oil pump.
No, it wouldn't be pumping 40 pounds if it was a bad oil pump. I think, like I said, I had one back in the day that it would dump down into 5-10 pound range once it was warmed up, and the Lucas fixed it. That super high viscosity molasses takes forever for it to get in the crankcase when you're pouring it out of the bottle. I mean, it's thick, but I mean, it's, if you want to keep, plus it's also great because it coats everything. So if you're worrying about viscosity, if you're worrying about it, metal on metal, then Lucas is the way to go. I've been using Lucas products for 40 years, and I had one that had so bad blow by at one time, a Camaro that I had bought before I built the engine. I had to use 2 jugs of Lucas on it. It was so wore out. It was 2 jugs of Lucas and 3 quarts of oil. It was bad, but it ran great. But I had non-foulers in all 8 holes because of the oil was just flowing right past the pistons in the combustion chamber. But the Lucas is, try the Lucas and see if it helps. I almost guarantee it's going to help.
Roman says, hey, Uncle Buck, do you know if a 2-wheel drive 87 Chevy 5-pluck rear end will directly swap it onto a 2-wheel drive 69 C10?
Depends on, you just got to measure hub to hub. Just measure inside lip, hub to hub, and see if they're the same width. And if they're not the same width, they're going to be close. And then you got to worry about spring purchase. Because, there are differences. Now, like I know you can take a K member out of like an 83 to an 80 and put it right underneath the 70 and drill 2 holes and everything bolts up. And then you have, disc brakes, 5 lugs, and everything bolts up. Everything's in place. But when it comes to rear ends, you just got to double check your spring purchase width. It's the same. And from inside of the brake hub to inside of the brake hub to make sure, even if they're like if it's a half an inch or an inch narrower or whatever, that just makes it where you can get more tire underneath it. But it's just a matter of if it bolts up.
TLC says no glitter in the oil. I'm going to pull it and inspect it. Hope I can save it.
Yeah, that's the reason why. I mean, like the big block, this is the machine shop right now. It was already done 30, and I'm going to see if they can get it at 40 because they're getting hard to find. Okay, so if I can get it bored to 40 and run it for say 8 years and have to rebuild it again, then I can just I can bore it to 50 or I can bore it to 60, and I have a viable engine to run again. That's why I went 40 on this instead of 60. So 40 is what it took to clean it up. So now if I run this thing for 10 years or 8 years, whatever, I still have 20 thousandths or 10 thousandths to go. I can have it, machined, and I can have a fresh block to use again. I highly recommend that. If you don't go as big as you want to go 10 over, go 20 over, so that because these things are getting hard to find. So especially big blocks. So the least amount you can bore it and maybe have it for another build in the future. Win-win, winner chicken dinner.
Can you touch on the static versus dynamic compression ratio? I've been building a 350 that will have a SCR of 9.621, which should be fine on a 91 octane, but my DCR is 8.991. Thanks. Love your stuff.
Okay. Dynamic compression ratio. I'm going to run 9-to-1 on this one because it's probably 875. It depends on if I have the heads milled, a 10 thousandths or a 20 thousandths. You can retard your time in 2 degrees, 4 degrees, to go from 36 total to like 32 total, and you won't have any detonation problems. Run 91 octane, whatever. I mean, it's your basic. You're kind of overcomplicating it. It's pretty simple. You know what your compression ratio is, and you can bleed a little bit of that off with a big cam if you want to hear it thumping. Thump, dump, 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 dump. It'll bleed some of that pressure off if you have enough load separation and enough duration. But that's totally doable streetwise, and possibly with a big enough cam off pump gas instead of 91.
Larry says, I'm getting ready to build my first motor for my 41 Chevy, so I'll probably drive you crazy every live with questions.
That's why we do this, is because, it's just, you guys support me by watching my videos. So I'm here to bounce things off of for you. That's why I don't think I'll ever do memberships, because I think that's kind of cheesy and just wrong. That's what this is all about. Throw your questions at me. I'll be more than happy to give my opinion. Send me an email, message me, Oh, while you're here, smash the like button. Make sure and smash the like button. I don't know if you guys have noticed, Uncle Buckweiser, it's strolling underneath this ring. Think about supporting the channel. Everything is appreciated. Everything helps.
Tristan says, I'm going to throw this out there to set off Vortec heads 10 to 1 compression.
If you got to get the machine work done to do any kind of lift on the Vortec heads, it isn't as simple as bolt them on. But 10 to 1 on stuff out of the pump, that's a lot. That's a lot of timing retardation to be able to get it to run without detonation and knocking and things like that. 10 to 1's a bit much on the street. You can go 9 to 1 with a big cam and bleed some of that pressure off, which we did back in the day and still kind of do today. But 10 to 1 is you're going to have to buy the expensive gas and maybe even like an actual octane booster. Or like we're lucky enough, we have a couple gas stations in the area that do high octane. They do through the pump race gas. So I mean, and it can get expensive. I mean, 9 to 1, 9.1, 9.2 is about the limit you can go on the street off of what you can buy out of the pump just at every mom and pop gas station store with retarded timing just a little bit. But anything above that, don't even think about 11, 12, 13 to 1. The days of ethyl, is over. It just doesn't work. Unless you have, like we're lucky enough, I have 10 minutes away, I have a gas station that has a high octane gas pump. It's expensive. It's pricey. I would rather go with a pump gas compression ratio with a really good set of heads and a nice thumper cam. And that's a lot more fun and it's a lot more economical, and it doesn't make things difficult.
Katie says you're.
Yeah. I mean, you can't tell me that I got an 09 Silverado crew cab out there with a 5.3 liter, and you can't tell me in 50 years that it's going to be buildable. The metal is so thin. I can feel the rear end moving when I take off now. I mean, I think the bushings in the leaf springs are gone. I can feel it in my butt after having it for all these years, 16, 17 years. I just know there's things that needs to be pay attention to it. But like a 50-year-old square body, I mean, the body panels, they're there. It takes a little patch panel. I mean, they're not rusted to pieces. And they're still viable, and the frames are solid. They're built tough. They're built to be on the farm. But the new ones, they're not built that way. They're built like comfort vehicles for soccer moms to drive around in. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's just the way it is. My 09, even though I bought it, I ordered it as something the road department would run, something like a fleet would run. Rubber formats, hand window cranks, no special buttons, no nothing, no leather, no heated seats or no nothing, no variable timing for fuel, 373 gears, towing package. But you can't even buy them anymore. They don't even produce them anymore. It's just not an option. They're not work trucks anymore. They are passenger vehicles.
Shane says, I hope you do an engine chats all the time. I just subscribed.
Yeah. Well, all you gotta do is ask me questions. I mean, I'm more than happy. I mean, I had 3 different people message me today, emailed me today about questions about an opinion of what I should do, which I live for. I really do. I really enjoy it. I mean, it because it makes me do research, which makes me learn things, which makes me think about things in different ways. I mean, if you never stop learning, you're always going to be one step ahead. If you get stuck and you're not willing to learn or get better, then you're going to be left behind. And,
Michael Scanlon says, I might have to come learn also.
You're always welcome, Mike.
Mad Mechanic says, thank you bone stock 350, rocking 750 carb, runs harder than most of the 600 to 650 silly smoker carbs. These want to be breathe.
Yeah, I'm a 750 on a 350 guy. I've done that many times. My old Monte Carlo hot rod back in the day that I had forever, my first real hot rod, 750 all the way. I mean, it's especially vacuum secondary because it's economical. It doesn't come in until you need it, but then when you need it, it's there.
TLC says, I'm going to pull it this weekend. Worth the effort. Curious if they don't use the right size bearings or not. What happens from Facebook rebuild motor? I open the timing cover and valve covers look good.
Oh, marketplace motor. I test them. The motors at Bamalam was in another truck that I bought off Marketplace, but I tested it extensively. I used the I vacuum tested it. I compression tested it. I ran it, and I feel comfortable enough to. And like I said, I can reach in the door right now and just touch the key, and it fires right off and runs smooth as silk. I mean, but on Marketplace, you can't trust anybody. It's like Craigslist, like anything else. I mean, everybody will tell you what you want to hear to try to make a sale, but you don't know until you get into it.
Tristan says, I just watched your video on cams, and that helps me out a lot with cams.
Yep, that was a great thing about the first truck that I built. The step side was it was a standard. It was no vacuum assisted brakes, so I could have theoretically went as radical as I wanted to when it's cam wise and not worry about vacuum for the brakes. But now Bamalam has vacuum assisted brakes on it, so I don't know what size cam's in it. I know it thumps, but the brakes work. So I'm thinking it's a 268, 275-ish cam in it, not something really radical. I'm trying to make a decision of how radical I want to go with cam with this, because like I said, I have one good set of the years old hardened lifters from back in the day. So I could buy any cam I want to buy. I can't decide what size I'm going to put in this motor.
Shane said, Curtis says, you're a good man, Buck, for not going to subscriptions. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I just don't agree with it. I don't do anything subscription, and I asked you guys a month ago, and everybody told me no. That and I agree. I don't do them. So why would I make you guys do it to do these lives? I mean, this is what it's all about. I feel like all you guys that are watching right now, we should be sitting around a campfire, having a cold one, just talking about life. That's what this community is about.
Katie says, love the Buckweiser t-shirt.
Yeah, you can get them. There'll be a little thing scrolling down below. If you guys want one, order one. And that'll also get you, like I said, the giveaway is still going. Christmas Day this year, she's going to pick a name out of the hat. And the file is getting thick for entries. All you got to do is buy a piece of it. It doesn't matter if it's a sticker, if it's a cup, if it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, whatever it is. A purchase gets you into the drawing. And all you got to do is send me a screenshot of it, which I got one today. And every purchase gets you a new chance.
Shane says, do you have any experience with high compression fuels like C12 or 16? I wonder the advantages over the 110 LL. No.
I mean, like the drag car, the Camaro, it was 9-to-1 compression, and I run pump gas out of it. I mean, that made it economical, because when you're young, you have family, kids. You're buying hotel rooms. You're on the road every weekend. I mean, it just made it where it was easy. I could get gas anywhere. same gas that was in the race car went into the truck, driving us home or getting us there. I'm a street guy. I mean, I don't see, it's more expense and it's more complicated. It's easier and more enjoyable just to be able to turn the key, drive it to the gas station, and fill it up, and not have to worry about it. So I'm an 8.5, 9-to-1 compression, or 9.2, something like that, with a big cam in it, so it thumps and it sounds good, and everybody notices it when you pull up to the pump. Everybody turns their head and looks at you because it's thumping, and it's something they haven't seen, especially the younger guys. You know, the rice burner guys, they love a thumping big block in anything. They'll turn their heads and come running in droves just to look at it. If you put something like that in whatever it is, you're going to get noticed.
Eric ran a 10-to-1 in a build 383 in my 78 Jimmy. Had to run high octane pump plus an octane booster. Loved that truck.
Yeah, but it, like I said, I'm simplicity. That extra 10, 15 horsepower you make for that extra point of compression ratio, to me, the funness factor is out of it. If you have to buy additives, if you have to go a specific gas station to get, and the gas is not as good now as it was 20 years ago or even 30 years ago. It's not the same. So where back in the day we'd run 10-to-1 compression with a over the counter, octane booster or whatever, or had a gas station that had higher octane, the 93.5. Remember the 93.5, not the 91, that was 93.5. And you still had detonation issues. I mean, I like to enjoy them, I just like to enjoy them, and if you got to buy special gas or buy a drum of gas just to go, run around town at insanely expensive prices, just ain't my thing. I'm going to, like I said, this one is probably going to run 8.7 with the right heads, the right combustion chamber on the heads, probably 8.5 if I do the 882 heads and port them out. If I mill them, they'd be like 8.7, 8.8 if I milled them a lot. If they are not very good, but I mean, that's the limit for me.
How would you suggest I get the pilot bearing out of the transmission shaft? Someone told me to use heat. Does that make sense?
No, just it'd be worth your money. Just O'Reilly's and AutoZone, they have the tool. Just pay the $25-35 and rent the tool, and then take it back and get your money back. They have a pilot bearing tool that they can rent you, unless you're going to do it a lot of times, But yeah, don't do heat. Don't do heat on a crankshaft, because they have treatments. Even a cast crankshaft has a heat treatment on it. So don't use heat.
So he says it's a 6.0 LQ4 swap in an 08 BMW 335i running a Holly Terminator. Had to replace the clutch. Now putting back together. I'm stuck.
Yeah, just go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's and rent the tool, and it'll take you. If you already got it apart, it'll take you 5 minutes. And then you can put your new one in for your standard transmission. I mean, yeah, just rent the tool, or go on Summit, and buy the tool. I mean, they make them. They're inexpensive. Go on Amazon. They're inexpensive. They'll pull it right out. They're just two little arms that go in with little lugs on them that spread out when you screw it in, and it just basically just pulls it right out.
Sleepless says, good afternoon, sir. Looking forward to those cold start square body videos this winter. What's your thoughts on Summit Racing cam and lifter kits?
That engine that we're giving away for Christmas has a Summit cam and lifter in it. And the reason I went Summit cam is because they have a whole bunch of different ones, but they're also Summit are still most of them are American made. So I'm hoping that the lifters are okay. Like I said, it was just that was a bargain basement, as cheap as I could get out of it. It still cost me $490 to build it, but Summit brand is fine. I've run them, and now the race car, the one I've been on for 6 years, it had a split direction max energy. It was comp cam, but this is also from 1999 2000, before everything moved offshore for manufacturing. I really miss that. I know it would be more expensive for all the parts to be made American made because everything moved offshore, but we wouldn't be having the problems we are having with failures on lifters and things like this today if we were still producing them here in America.
Curtis says, also my square body built has a 3.73 gear, and I just bought a rubber floor, but years from it being done.
Yeah, no, I like 373s. The race car, the Camaro that I was just talking about, had 373 posi in it. My truck, my tow pig has 373 gears, which again, you can't even order 373 gears anymore on a half ton. Not available. I knew what I was going to use that truck for pulling the trailer and yanking things out of the woods. I knew that's what I was going to use that truck for, and that's why I ordered it that way. But I like a 373 gear. Now it's a little high on the highway, but if my personal is 355 or a 373. That's my go-to when it comes to rear end gear ratios.
So Zachary says, got a 97, 454, runs decent, drives, driver's side bank is running, rich, passenger isn't. Any ideas?
95, is it a throttle body?
97, sorry.
Is it a throttle body? Peanut port heads? Dual plane intake? Three-quarter ton or 1 ton?
Didn't say. And gentleman says, thanks, Uncle Buck. I got a C10. Great content.
We're going to be doing a lot of those.
Sleepless says, live car talk rocks.
Yeah. Live car talk rocks.
Larry says, I'm down for the bonfire. When do you want to do it?
I got a pile on my burn pile right now, and I thought about burning it this weekend, but I'm going to wait for them guys to get done with the building and see if there's any scrap or any wood, which there shouldn't be because it's all metal.
44 says, hello, square body and Camaro guy here.
Same here.
Project HQ says we run a 91 in the race car.
Yeah, there you go. It makes it economical to go racing. And the power, I mean, if you're not pumping up to 13 to 1, 14 to 1, 15, whatever it is, and you really have to run some serious high octane, you're only gaining 10 to 12 horsepower per point of squish, of compression ratio. It's not that big of a power bang. You're gonna get better bang for the buck by buying a really good set of heads as going high compression. That's kind of old school thinking. I mean, that's back in the day when you could go pull up the pump and buy ethyl, which was like 117, 118. That stuff was rocket fuel out of the pump, but that isn't available anymore.
Mad Mechanic says, I'm in. Next summer we take a vacation. We can come and meet ya. Campfire and beer perfect.
Perfect. Oh, by the way, don't forget, I think the 13th of November, we'll do it at 6 o'clock because we're going to be in Vegas, which will be 8 o'clock this time. We'll be two time zones that way. We're going to do it from the beer garden into Four Queens. We're going to be doing it from Vegas. Makes it a tax deduction.
Missy said, and Project HQ says Missy's Camaro we can run 94 premium, nothing fancy.
Yeah, and she's got a big block in her Camaro.
Larry says nothing sounds better than a nice cam long tube headers and thrush glass packs.
Now, okay, now my dad was a glass pack guy, but I'm a Flowmaster guy. My dad was the guy that would take a brand new truck. And this is back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. He'd take a brand new truck, get dual exhaust put on it with 12-inch cherry bombs on it, get them hot, stick a garden hose in the back of it, hear it sizzling and cracking and popping, taking a hammer, beating the hell out of them, hitting a hill, dropping it down in fourth gear, and just blowing all the junk out of it. And he said, now it sounds right. My dad's thing was, we all knew we had to scramble. You remember when you were a kid, you had chores to do, and you knew you had to have it done by the time mom and dad got home. Well, dad always warned us because he'd pull in the driveway and he'd rev it, rum, 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 3 times, and he'd shut it off. That's the way we knew, start doing what we're supposed to be doing the whole time, but that's what my dad's process was. I mean, he was a truck driver. And he had trucks that had stacks in, out of the bed of the truck, and my sisters were embarrassed for him to pick them up from school in the 70s, but I loved it. I mean, he had this old Dodge that had the stacks on it, and he had a seat that had a armrest on it, and that's where I sat. This is way before, seat belts and all that biz. I was little Tex, because everybody called my dad Tex because he was the only Texan in Wisconsin. Okay, so I mean, and that I think that's where I get it from. But I'm a Flowmaster guy. I like my Flowmasters. It's just I think they're when they first come out, that was the first thing I put on a race car was the Flowmasters, and to the day I sold it, they still had the Flowmasters on it, even going drag racing. They might have just been the pipes out of the headers to the Flowmaster and dumps, but they were Flowmasters on it.
G says bonfire with hot dogs and s'mores. Grant, I'm down for it.
Hell yeah.
Old school racing. I run a 110 because gas kills me if I have to get the carbs. Plus the fumes. A little 110 clean just cleans it up, and I guess it's no on the video.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The car culture. Everybody has their thing. I've always been simplicity. I mean, I want to drive up to the gas pump and just fill it up right there at the pump and not have to worry about it, detonation and things like that.
Matt says summer event. Call it Beers with Buck. Rent the fairgrounds, sell tickets. You build it, we will come.
Wow. I thought about that. I mean, right now I'm not that big. I mean, we just turned 31,000 subscribers, But I mean, there's going to be a time. There's a real nice fairgrounds just over the bridge, 10 minutes away. That we could do a get together in the future. It really could happen. Just a gathering.
Yeah.
I feel like Uncle Dave's idea of Professor Pushrod. Get the little thing, the reflector and a little white deal, Professor Pushrod on it,
Yeah.
But
somebody needs a reminder how to enter to win the engine.
Okay, how to enter to win? Okay, you got to buy a piece of merch, whether it's a mug, a sticker, whatever it is. Every purchase gets you a deal. But the thing is, Spring, the t-shirt company that makes these t-shirts, they don't give me your information when you buy. So once you make a purchase, get my email address, bigbuckslater@gmail.com, and send me a screenshot of the purchase, and that gets you entered into the win. And that gets me your email address, so that what Christina's going to pull out at Christmas Day is going to be a little slip of paper with your email address on it, so that I know who to contact, who now at Christmas Day is going to own that motor. So that's what you do. You buy a piece of merch, send me the screenshot of the purchase, and you're entered. And every purchase gets you another entry. Like I said, the file is getting pretty thick.
Matt says, what toilet paper, 3/8 socket removes the pilot bearing better than the fancy tool?
I'm good. I've
380, 3/8 extension, not socket.
Okay, I've seen the videos, the TikToks, and everything with the gum, with the paper, with the everything. I get it. It just rent the tool. It's free, and I mean, I've seen all the videos. I'm gonna rent the tool. If I got to pull a pilot bearing, I'm gonna rent the tool.
Shane says, pack the bearing with grease and get it behind the pilot.
Yep. Everybody has, okay, that's another example of everybody has their way of doing things. I'm going to rent the tool. Or someday, if I end up doing a whole bunch of these damn things over the next 15, 20 years, as long as I'm alive, I don't think I ever quit doing this as long as I'm alive, but I'm going to use the tool.
Kay says, Matt, I don't know if you ever do an event, Uncle Buck. Let me know. I'm a professional chef and will work for knowledge.
Well, as you can tell, I like to eat.
Old School says SGI SBCs are the complete modular iron block, 88 to 90 block. If he has a chance, watch the video I put out. I'm bored one.
Okay, send me a link to it and I'll watch it.
Let's see here. Okay, and let's see here. Should I go with the 4200 Atlas or just a regular SBC for 1/8 mile?
How fast do you want to go? And how much power do you think you're pushing? See, a lot of these questions have variables it isn't just a black and white answer.
Curtis, thank you for what you do. Take the time for all of us. Good night from Canada, everyone.
Good night, Curtis. I appreciate you very much. Remember, if you haven't already, smash that like button.
Matt says, for what it's worth, after hours and hours of Buck videos, I am 3 years into my C10 build and I have nothing to offer knowledge, but I am going to show Buck what people can do with the videos.
Now, everybody has something to offer. I mean, even like the videos that I watch, I always learn something every day.
He says he's amazed with your knowledge.
I've been reading the magazines and doing this in my head since I was 5 years old. I mean, I don't hunt or fish. I shoot guns, but I don't hunt or fish. And it's always been my thing ever since I took that first ride 6 Mustang that the neighborhood boy had. I mean, I've been hooked ever since. And it's just the passion that I have. I wake up, think about it, go to sleep thinking about it, about these things. I mean, it's in my DNA. And I'm saddened by there's no shop classes, and it brings me joy to know that like somebody that's 11 years old is getting into them. That is like a shining star in heavens of somebody that's young, that's wanting to get into this.
HQ says total glass pack guy here.
Yep.
Larry says it's a nostalgic thing, just like the 3 deuces for the 41 Chevy.
Yep.
Mike says stop by here to absorb what I can for a bit.
That's what it's all about.
Katie says, first car, boat, deuce and a quarter. Mad says, Flowmaster, body, baby. Buck is Rockstar.
I'm about to put a Flowmaster on the Tow Pig, the 09. Kenny put a Flowmaster on his, a 12-inch Flowmaster on his 02 OBS, and it sounds great. I'm thinking about putting a 40 series Flowmaster on the Tow Pig. I mean, it's just you're actually saving about 100 pounds, because if you guys ever seen the mufflers on them things, they're this big. They're this big around. You know, it weighs 100 pounds for just a muffler. And all I got to do is just cut it off, slip it on, weld it on, put a dump on it. You're good to go.
Sleepless says, looking forward to the big block motor build. I'm installing a 454 into my 73 C20 this winter.
Nice.
With glass packs too.
Yep. Once you go big block, you never go back.
Terry says, my glass pack mufflers are the only a shell with nothing inside of them, plus had holes in them. Imagine how loud they were, Buck.
My dad would be proud. My dad would be proud.
31K, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Mad says, Megaflow, you can sneak up on anything Flowmaster, make shirks come up, and glass pack scares the kids and makes the dogs hide.
It's just, but isn't that kind of the point? I mean, blowed out cherry bomb, you know, or Flowmasters, whatever. It's Chevy, Dodge, Ford. It really is Toyota. Chevy, Dodge, Ford, Toyota. It's just what you're into, you know. But I have been, and I think I always will be, to quote Spock, a Flowmaster guy. Flowmaster is my friend.
Okay, growing with Kenny. Question for Buck: what do you know? Want to know your thoughts on what will be cheap engine build and possibly turbo? Beginner friendly would be my first build, looking for a 500 horsepower with a daily driver, reliable.
Then you have to go big block. If you don't want any power booster, if you want 500 horsepower, you build you a 350 horsepower small block, which is a cast everything rotating assembly with a good set of heads and a 150 horsepower plate system. And it's power to go. And you can run 9-to-1 compression. If you space your rings right, which I did on this engine because I think we're going to put a plate system on this engine. And you can have 500 horsepower all day long with 500 foot-pounds of torque at your fingertips. You just turn it on and hit the button and you're gone.
Sleepless Night says, how much are those power steering pumps brackets you were telling us about in previous video? It was for a small block or a big block.
Right. Okay. On the first truck, that the bracket was off of a van, and I modified it. I trimmed it up a little bit and I cleaned it up. On the Bamalam, it was a lifting lug from my son's crate engine we bought from Jags, and I modified it and did a little bit of welding and fixed that. My plan in the future is to somehow take that bracket off that truck and get it 3D scanned and possibly get it produced large scale, because it seems like there isn't anybody out there that's basically making that solid of a bracket for a power steering pump for an older small block. So in the future, once I get some time and I get a couple of dollars and get enough bank account to be able to get that done, I might actually start producing or having someone make those and sell them on the side. But right now, like I said, the one on the original truck was off of a van, and I thought that mount was killer because it was adjustable, just like an alternator bracket. But the one on the Bamalam right now is one that I had to modify and make myself out of an existing bracket, which I'm hoping maybe within a year, maybe 18 months to be able to mass produce that.
Larry says Flowmaster was kind of the next step in the evolution from GlassPack as far as I can remember.
Well, they were the first open design without any packing. Turbo, like GlassPacks have fiberglass packing. Turbos had fiberglass packing. Flowmaster was the first one to use baffles and no packing. And that's why they were like, they were trend setting, and they came on the market so hard, and I was sold so heavy. I mean, we've all had those buddies. I know I have, that has taken pieces of pipe and pieces of flat steel and just made hollow things that look like turbo mufflers or Flowmasters with no baffles or no nothing. They're just straight through, just to like pass tech at the drag strip, things like that. But when they first come out, and I bought a set, and I put them on my car, I have been hooked since that day. I am Flowmaster until death.
Old School says, I know it's a knockoff, but the Monsters is the exact sound of Flowmasters. I love them.
Yeah, I know. And it's like I said, they're knockoffs and everything. There's nothing new on the market. Everything is just a redo of an old. So, I mean, for me, just for brand loyalty, in the future, I'm going to buy Flowmaster brand. I'm going to buy Flowmaster brand. I'm not going to buy Chinese knockoffs or Temu's or anything, anything like that. I'm going to support the products that I've know and love, and I know they're good, and I'm going to do that. It go that way. It might cost me a couple extra bucks, but that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Katie says, I love to own a 67 Camaro Z28. What's your dream car, everyone?
My favorite is second gen Camaros, and not 70 to 73s. I'm a rubber nose guy. They are my love affair. My race car was an 81 model, and I love those cars. I love those cars. That platform is my favorite. I had a 67 Chevelle, and it was the most uncomfortable car, the worst cornering car, the worst braking car, the most leaked so much air. It was not comfortable. It had, the steering was 3.5 turns, turn to turn. You were driving like this all the time. It was not fun to own. It was the one car I owned that was worth the most amount of money, but it was the worst car I ever owned. I am a second gen 74 to 81 guy.
Julie Scannon says, does your wife have a Facebook page? If so, I need to get her on Facebook so I can ask her what I'm getting into on the 31st of this month. I have no idea.
Judy, just call me at the office tomorrow, and I'll let you know whatever you need to know.
Matt says, how do you handle the people who say crappy things? I just watched your video for the knowledge on pointed out the video mistakes.
Okay. All you guys that are thinking about or already have started the YouTube channels, comments are positive, whether they're good or bad. It's people are engaging with your stuff. I get probably 5 to 10% negativity, which I love, because if they're commenting, whether it's good or bad, YouTube picks that up. That means that's conversation from point A to point B. That's engagement, and that's what YouTube wants. So they can talk crap about me all day long. I just consider it a compliment that everybody has an opinion. Even if they're shitty, they're still commenting, which actually drives more people to my content.
They take time out to,
and there are people out there that, if you think about it, if they're really, really, really nasty, think about what their life is like to just purposely take time out of their life to try to shit on you. Okay? It almost makes you feel sorry for them, because that's all they have. They're trying to bring somebody else down to make themselves feel better. So negative comments, all day long. I'll take them all day long because that tells YouTube that people we're going back and forth. And that's why I tell them, appreciate you. Have a great day. I hope you're having a better day, you know, and it doesn't get under my skin at all. And maybe it's because I'm in my 50s and I've got wide shoulders and, you know, I can handle it, but no. If they're talking with you, YouTube pays attention to it and it just drives more people to your channel.
9:30.
It's almost 9:30.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. If you haven't yet, get a t-shirt. Okay. Like, share, subscribe. Tell people about us. Okay. Come back next week. Like I said, it's just going to be us, at least for the next month. Like I said, because Junior is going to be in Georgia doing his classes for his job to be an even better mechanic than he already is. And I'll be putting the videos up for the time lapse. We're going to work on this. I'll get an oil pump for this and a pickup tube and a drive rod through Summit. I'll get the links up on all the listings through Summit. And you guys think up things you want to talk about or ask about next week so we can do this. Like I said, this is number 25. I think we're locked in. We're going to do this every Thursday, 8 o'clock. I look forward to this all week long. I like doing this even more than making videos about building engines or building cars or whatever. This is my bread and butter right here. I love this. You know, I appreciate all you guys. I do. I look forward to this all week long. Christina, not so much.
Oh, you're full of it.
You know, but I think 26, with you guys' help and with everybody's support, 26 is going to be our breakout year. I mean, things are really starting to click, and it's just going to be bigger and better. And I learn about what you guys are interested in just by having these conversations, you know. And yeah, it's going to get bigger. We are going to have get-togethers. We are going to have swap meets. There's going to be things that I would like to do in the future to bring us all together as a community. Because, you know, I mean, if we let this die, it will die an ugly death. And Tristan, any questions you got? Anything you want to know? All you got to do is email me, you know, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay? What we got?
Katie just says, I like to say thank you, Miss Buck, for reading the comments. My eyes would be killing me for reading so long.
Now, listen, I got to tell you, the building was her idea. It was her idea because she realizes how space sensitive we are right now. I mean, I've got Mustangs and lawnmowers.
No, what it's called is that I have ideas and I need workspace.
She says she's taking over this shop as her she shed.
Yeah.
She's thinking about starting to do used furniture and restaining and redoing used furniture which is probably going to end up being the body shop.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter.
Yeah. Meh. Anyway.
All right, we're going to call it a night. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, think about supporting the channel. I love you guys so much. We'll see you next Thursday. Y'all have a great day.